She comes back and tells me this, and I just look at her. My smile just goes.
And I get a text. Oh, this might not happen today. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit.
And I go, oh, okay. Yep, he's okay. That's his way to ghost me. We're done.
How long did you have the ring before you proposed?
Almost 2 years.
What?
I always said this too, that like one of her pictures on her profile did not look like her.
You're trying to say I was trying to catfish?
No. What am I doing with my life?
This week on Half Past Joe, we have some very special guests in the house for you, so get ready for that. We're going to be talking about relationships, relationship issues, and getting engaged. So let's get into it, Half Past crew.
Welcome to
Half Past Joe.
Guys, welcome. People don't know you.
Jonah and Marissa, welcome to Half Past Chai.
Hello.
Half Past Chai? Oh my gosh, I'm saying
back.
it again.
We're back, everybody, to Half Past Chai. Welcome back, and thank you for joining another episode. We're your hosts. My name is Suketu.
My name is Hallie.
And we're an interracial couple. I'm Indian.
And I'm super white.
And we talk about being an interracial couple. But we also have guests on to talk about relationships, which is what we're doing today. So we're going to go ahead and talk to our guests about some questions that we have for them. Before that, we do release podcast episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, turn on your post notifications. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow and give us 5 stars because that helps the algorithm. So settle in, get cozy, and grab your cha.
All right, let's just do a little toast, a little cheers, everybody, with our cha that we have.
Yeah.
Look at this. Take a little sip.
That's pretty good.
Oh, I wish it was still like hot.
That is good.
It's getting a little cold, and I don't want to put these babies in the microwave.
I like it kind of cold. I don't like it super hot.
I like it kind of cool.
Do you
cool.
drink hot coffee or do you drink iced coffee?
I'm more of a hot coffee person.
Same
coffee?
here.
Hot coffee?
Yeah.
I like hot
Interesting.
coffee.
I like iced.
Hallie loves ice. The reason I don't like ice is because the ice makes it watery. Does it feel
If
like
you don't
that?
drink it fast
Oh.
enough, yes, which
Which Hallie does not drink it fast enough.
sometimes I like to
Just
savor it.
sips it. I'm like, I'm chugging that. Do you chug your... I chug my coffee. I don't know what it is. I can't sip it.
If it's like piping hot, I have to sip it, and then as soon as it's like hot but not too hot, I'll start chugging it.
Yeah.
Really?
I used to do that when I was, would just get up like 15 minutes before going to work. I just chug it and go. But now I actually take time to like sit on the couch and drink my coffee. And
Yeah.
it's really nice. Yeah, but I like it hot.
That's one of the best parts of any morning routine, I would argue, is getting to sit and enjoy like a nice cup of tea or coffee or whatever it may be. Or like if we go to a coffee shop, we were just talking about this today, actually, because we got coffee this morning and he was taking sips and sips of it. And he's like, I'm just going to chug it. I'm going to chug it.
I don't know what it is.
And
I get so addicted. Like, I just want to drink all of it.
I don't understand how, because I feel like that would wreck my stomach if I just chugged it, you know? I like to sip it and enjoy it and savor it.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It tastes so good when you just like have a lot of it in your mouth. But
Does it?
But I do want to talk about first how we know you, Jonah.
Just for a little
and
context.
Marissa.
Yeah.
And so me and Jonah pretty much grew up together almost. Like we knew each other pretty early on in our schooling where we went. And Jonah and I were very weird children. We loved to just do weird things and make videos. And we were also always in like classes together, and we would always compete against each other who could get the highest grade. Because we were both pretty avid learners, I think.
Yeah.
And Jonah was probably the only other person who really cared about their grades. Everyone else, I feel like they didn't care. At least the classes we were in.
Yeah.
Like we were never like in those
Right.
crazy ace level classes, but
We also weren't down there.
we weren't at the bottom. We were like in the middle of like the honors. Like
Yeah.
there was like ace, there was honors, and there was like
Right.
the people who weren't very smart. But me and Jonah were in the middle, and so we would always compete against each other in class. And Jonah was usually smarter than me, at least, especially in English.
What can I say?
But anyways, we did make a lot of videos together, and it was a really fun time. And I miss high school. I miss high school with you, and also just high school in general. It's a fun time.
When did you guys meet each other officially?
7th grade?
7th grade.
Maybe 6th grade. But yeah, 7th for
But
sure.
we knew each other. Didn't you go to
West?
West? You went to West, so I knew of you
Yeah.
before that.
Same. I think that we may have like crossed paths occasionally in 6th grade.
Yeah.
But then we for sure actually had classes together in 7th grade and beyond.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. And then Marissa, I know Marissa from our classes in high school. We only had like 1 or 2 classes, but we know her, and they didn't know each other. Marissa and Jonah didn't know each other until after high school. After college?
Yeah, after college. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So we knew both of you separately.
Right.
Which is kind of wild. And then Hallie, do you know Jonah at all?
Not really. No, I think I don't remember the first time exactly that I met you, but you were at our wedding.
Yeah. It was social media in high school at some point that
Yeah.
we became friends. And I think that was it. That was like the extent of it.
I knew you because I always saw you in his videos.
Yeah.
And I thought you guys were so funny together, but we never actually met.
Right.
And then I knew of you because we were in band together. Fun fact, Marissa played the clarinet. I also played the clarinet. So I heard our band directors talk pretty highly of you for the most part. Like, that's how I knew of you. And I was like, oh, Marissa, because we were never in the same. Wait, I feel like at one point we were in the same band together.
I don't remember.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
So
Well,
because you guys have like chairs, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
And so like how
my
do you remember what chair you were?
I was in symphonic band my sophomore year of high school.
I was in wind ensemble.
Your
so
junior year?
My junior year. Yeah.
Okay.
Sophomore and junior.
Well, I'd heard of you still, but I don't know. I feel like maybe you were like visiting a class somehow, because like I remember you somehow in that space, but I do remember you being talked about. So that was all that I knew of you until you got engaged a few weeks ago.
Which fun
That's
fact,
crazy.
we got to shoot your engagement.
Yeah. Could not happen without Half Past Joe.
Yes.
That was pretty fun. I was stressed out. I think I'm pretty positive I was more stressed than you.
No, there's no way. Fat chance.
I was like, I mean, you saw the video. Like, I was pretty stressed.
Yeah,
K2
actually,
like
that's true.
I was like, I don't know what it was, but like, I just was so scared that because you kept Marissa in one direction, like she was looking one direction, and then for a second she had turned around. Did you see us? You
I don't
didn't?
think I did. I saw there was like a bridge, and I saw a couple on the bridge.
Yes.
Was
Yes.
that you guys?
That was not us.
I
There
think
was
it
another
this other
couple.
couple. They were like really. I don't know.
They were
I think
much
they loved
younger, I
each
think.
other.
Yes.
Yes.
And I just remember going, okay.
They
and
were
then
much younger, yeah.
Continuing to walk on.
Okay.
I never saw you.
That's good.
We
guys
did a
were
good job
ninjas.
then.
We always try because we have a mutual friend that we also shot an engagement for, and they definitely saw us,
Kaylee and Nate.
Kaylee and Nate, and so that was at a location that we're very familiar with as well. But it was they definitely saw us because we had nowhere to hide. There was a tree. I think that
There was
it.
just one tree, and we were like, man, we're going to try and hide behind this tree.
Climb up the tree.
And so we always try to be discreet, but it was fun. I always
Yeah.
like shooting engagements. They're the best because it's not like as stressful as a wedding, but it's just as crazy, because you don't know what's about to happen. But it's really great to capture that moment.
Well, and so also for some context, the first vlog that you did, which was, I mean, you've only done a few of them, but the weekly vlogs,
Yeah.
that's you guys. So
Yeah.
if you haven't watched that, you should, because that's like the whole process in BTS.
Exactly.
Us being stressed out. I'm not stressed, but he makes me stress.
Yeah. Which we talked about. in
He
the
was
last
just stalking
episode.
your location the whole time, and he's like, he's going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way. And I'm like,
I was
Suketu, calm down.
freaking out.
Wait, didn't you okay, so you had mapped out a place you were going to go, but you had turned a different direction for like a second, and then you turned back.
It's because she.
I wanted to go see. So I forget what I wanted to see. There was like a tower or something, and I
There
wanted
was
to
like
go.
that glass house where they have
Yes.
like concerts or something.
I was like, ooh.
What
and I
is
was like,
that?
"Ooh, this doesn't look cool." And it looks like the path ends, which it totally didn't.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be like, "We should go this way. Look at that bridge. Oh my god, we can go under there. That looks so cool." Trying to play it off, and
so
it didn't.
funny.
Yeah. I really didn't suspect anything. Maybe I don't know where my head was at, but yeah, I didn't start to suspect anything until you were like, "Oh, let's go under the bridge." And I was like, maybe
Why?
something's going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, like
But-
why under the bridge?
I don't know.
But
You
yeah.
to get to the other spot.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit more about your engagement later. But first, just for some other context, like we've talked about how we know you guys and everything. Who are you? What do you guys do? Where are you from? Talk about that. Give just like a little elevator pitch on yourself for the people listening who don't know you.
My name's Jonah Flaskamp. I grew up all of my life in Avon, Indiana. So again, very close friends all of my life. Didn't move anywhere. And then right now, I got my bachelor's in nursing in 2020, and then I'm just now finishing up my master's in nursing education. Currently, I work at Riley Hospital as what they call nursing professional development practitioner. A very long name. Essentially what it is I can help with education within the hospital. I also work on orienting and onboarding new hires, as well as working on like quality projects and safety stuff. So yeah, that's what I do right now.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Making big moves.
My name is Marissa. I am a teacher. I teach 5th grade music. And I also am a clarinet player. And I still play and teach clarinet lessons. That's what I love to do. For fun, my hobby is flying. So I fly airplanes.
Yeah, you're kind of like a pilot.
Kind of crazy. So if you ever wanted to, you could just do that. That's crazy. You guys are both technically in like the teaching field,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is crazy. How, first of all, now knowing you a little bit, how do you know each other?
So I played the violin in high school. She played the clarinet, and we were both in the top orchestra and band program. So then whenever we had symphony orchestra that we would do together, we still did not ever like talk to each other ever. I don't even know if we really like made eye contact.
Yeah, typically when, especially older folks or family members, when we started dating, when they'd ask us, "Oh, how'd you meet?" we would say, "Oh, it was through orchestra. We both went to Avon and graduated the same year. And he played violin in the orchestra. I played clarinet, and that's what we would tell them."
But really, it was Bumble. We met on a dating app. That was when we actually first said a word to each other. So
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because,
crazy.
okay, so we haven't had any experience with dating apps. Tell us how Bumble works. I know it's different than Hinge. I know it's different than Tinder. Yeah. It's where someone like one of you reaches out first, right? Which one?
Yeah, I think it's the ladies.
I think
Okay.
it is a lady, yeah.
Yeah.
So the girl reaches out first, and that's the difference between the other apps. It's like I think the other one is like anyone can reach out first.
Yeah.
So,
So
what you're saying is that you guys are a couple and you met on an app, which we were wanting to get somebody on to talk about that
Yeah.
because we don't have that experience, but we secretly knew that he was going to propose to you for a while. So that's why we were waiting till you got engaged.
But dating apps,
Yes.
did you use them frequently, or was this like a one-time thing and you were like, dang, this just worked out?
I think we actually talked about this too. Like I think I had it once and then I deleted it and then I downloaded it again. So I had it twice, 2 different occasions. I think the farthest I ever really got, and this was also like just with my own interest level, either she wasn't really interested or I wasn't really interested. The farthest I got was we were setting up a date with one of the people that I matched with, and it still didn't like go through. So that was like the farthest. And I was literally about to delete my app until we matched and we started talking, and then it took off. So yeah.
When you did match, did you recognize each other?
I think she recognized me more. I didn't really recognize her at first, but I knew her name.
How dare you?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that guy was in orchestra.
I always said this too, though. Like one of her pictures on her profile did not look like her.
Are you trying to say I was trying to
No,
catfish?
no. I'm just saying it was like a certain angle of your face and then like the sunlight, and it did not look like your other pictures. And I was like, are you this other person that I know? Like I thought you were 2 different people in the same profile. So that was just like the one thing I remember at the first. But then, we became friends, or I think we already were friends on Instagram, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
And then I did the
Social
typical
media.
thing where I'm like, who are you really? And then I saw, and I was like, okay, that's Marissa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I feel like I had the dating apps for maybe like 4 months or so, just because I was working. It was my first year working, and I'm like focusing on that. And I was like, oh, I'll just have a dating app for fun, things like that. Nothing really went too far with anyone that I had talked to. I feel like a lot of people are can be either weird or just act different behind the screens. And you talk to someone a little bit and then it's like, and you stop replying and you can ghost people on there. I don't know if I was really a fan of it, but I just did it. And I feel like I was curious about finding people that I already knew of on the dating app. So I felt like that's what made it easy with Jonah and I. Like, I was like, oh, I know of you. And we're like, oh, let's go on a date. Let's just try to see how things go. And because a lot of our conversations went really well and we started calling each other and talking and so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So then what were some of the initial things? Obviously the fact that you guys knew of each other, but what things, like when you came across each other's profiles, stood out to you?
I don't think my profile really had anything to it other than a few words on like the first page and then my pictures. Whereas some people, they like have a lot to say about their bio. But I don't know. I don't know like what tipped you off for me.
What attracted you to Jonah initially?
I just really felt like our conversations, things like that. If you asked me exactly what he had written on his bio, I actually wouldn't really remember. I just, remember recognizing you and texting you and connecting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of clicked.
Did it feel like it was pretty quick in terms of the click? Like it was like you matched, you went on a date, and boom, like you were like, oh wow, this is it.
Yeah, it was a little scary, I feel like. Honestly, because it's like everybody says, oh, you'll know when you know. And I'm like, then, I just knew.
Yeah. Same. I think it, whenever we matched and then we started talking on Bumble, that was going fine. I think I was doing the thing where I'm like, I don't want to seem like I'm overly interested and like clingy. So I would just like text at like a normal rate or even slower sometimes. And then whenever we started talking more and things got more comfortable, and then she would start calling me, I'd start calling her, and then we started talking a lot. And then we finally that was all within like a couple weeks, and then we had our first date.
Well, and before the first date, so we had a date planned, and I don't even remember, maybe it was to go out to dinner or something. We were going to do that, and it was either late December or early January. And I get a message from him either by text or on Bumble, and it says, I have COVID. And I go, oh, okay. Yep, that's his way to ghost me. We're done talking.
So then I supplied the receipt of my positive test. I was like, just so you know, I'm not lying.
So yeah, he had COVID, and I thought he was lying, and then we ended up having a date a week and a half, 2 weeks later, whenever, you were better and testing negative. And we just got coffee. We went to Starbucks and just got coffee and talked. Yeah. And I don't know how long we talked, but we were talking a while.
Probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 hours went by really fast.
Yeah. I think it was at that point, whenever I left, I was like, oh, shoot, I want to go on another date with this girl. So that's when I knew that it was like real. I was like, oh, okay, I'm actually like really into this person.
Yeah. Which is, okay, so like you explaining all this, I'm very surprised on Jonah's part. Like he's very conscious about what he does. Okay. The reason I say this is because when we were in like 7th grade and 8th grade, I was pretty close with him. So I would see his interactions. I still remember this because I was jealous of Jonah. Okay. And the ways that he interacted with women, he knew how to talk to girls. Girls would come up and hug him sometimes here and there. Okay. It would happen. I would see it. I remember it because I remember it's ingrained in my brain because I was like, wow, no girl has ever hugged me. And I don't know why. I just remember it so well. It's because like he's very good at talking and not just like talking with everybody, talking with women and not just every woman. But I'm saying like
Yes,
he's very
Suketu,
good at it. I think he's just very considerate person. Okay. Yeah. And so people like find comfort in that. Did you feel that way when you were first talking with him?
Yeah. I felt like, I don't know, you had your heart on your sleeve and I don't know, I just emotionally connected with you well. And you just care a lot. And I don't know.
I try.
Yeah. So I definitely felt that.
Yeah.
And it's so special because it's rare that you find that with somebody, right? And I feel like when you do find that with somebody, like we connected right off the bat. Like it was just easy. It's like you said, it's almost kind of scary when you connect with somebody so easily, but it feels so right and comforting in a weird way because you just want to keep, like you said, you want to go out again with her and you want to spend more time. And the 2 hours went like that.
Yeah.
It's just really nice when you find that connection with somebody.
I mean, I still remember like when we first started dating, she called me once, and this is before we dated.
Yeah, we were still
she called me,
talking phase.
and it was like so late, and we would talk for hours and hours, and it didn't feel like that. It wasn't like hard to do, right? So it was just easy. Because you meshed so well, you decided to get the ring to get engaged. Okay? Tell me about the story of that.
Okay, so we started officially dating, I think we said January 22nd.
Yep.
So fast forward, I think 3 months later, as crazy as that sounds. But when,
my gosh.
when a man knows, a
But
man
look,
knows.
what she just said, like when you know, you just, that clicks,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
he felt the same thing you felt.
Yeah. And the only reason why it worked out that early too was because at the time I was doing bedside nursing and they were doing COVID contracts to where you get extra money by working 4 shifts a week instead of 3 shifts. You'd give up your right to like choose what days you wanted to work, but in return, working 4 days a week, you get like a ton of money. But you also had to do a contract where you'd have to work that crazy shifts for 6 weeks.
So you had to do 6 weeks of it.
And if you missed one shift, they'd be like, sorry, we're not giving you the money anymore. So you could not miss.
Wow.
So yeah, that is the only reason why, because then I could just get the ring and then I just paid it off instantly. I just wanted it out of my mind. Didn't want to go into debt again because I got rid of my school debt. So yeah, that is the whole rationale of how it actually happened. And then I just held on to it and I would check on the ring every like 2 months and just open it and be like, when's the day gonna come?
So I have to know, Jonah, what was the turning point where in your head everything clicked and after the 3 months you're like, I've got to marry her. I want her to be my wife.
I think what it really was we took a trip to Nashville a month prior, so March. So 2 months into dating, we just said, let's go on a fun trip to Nashville. And I don't know what it was, but there was just some moment during that trip, I think on like the first full day, we were just out and about having fun, just like, oh, we see this cool little thing in the distance. Let's go check it out. I don't know. It was just like so easy to go find joy in like the smallest and most like seeming like trivial kind of thing. And I was like, okay, I could literally do anything with this person and just have like a blast. And then like, I don't know. I just decided to act upon it next month, as crazy as it sounded. And I knew that I'd have to wait. So yeah, it was a very long time coming, but I'm glad that it's finally here. And again, could not have done it without you guys. You guys did amazing.
You did amazing.
Yeah,
You guys did the thing.
You did the hard work, which is awesome. Which, first of all, going back to the engagement, I want you to explain how you did it. But one piece of it that he did not mention, that Jonah did not mention, was that he was going to give you something before he got on one knee. And so we were like running up, and then I was like, no, stop. And so like I had to pull Hallie back because we were like going in because I thought you were about to get on one knee. And so we like stood back, and that's when you were about to turn around, and then we thought you were going to see us.
I think so really quickly, I think what is sad is I'm 100% positive I told you that I was going to give her something in my bag, and that's when you knew that I'm about to get on my knee. But I think we had a phone call. I don't think I actually have like a text to be like, see, here it is.
Yes. Oh my God. Hallie was in the car with me when you had the phone call. So
Don't blame it on me.
No. You definitely mentioned it. I remember. She's like, I have something in my bag. Once I get my bag out, that's when you guys should get ready. Which now I remember. Would you look at that? Okay.
But hey, I mean, still, I didn't see or hear you guys or anything, so it worked out.
We were trying to be very discreet, very quiet, which obviously you didn't see us, so it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so now I want to explain how I got the ring for Hallie, because it's not completely similar, but I don't think I've ever told you. And then I want you to explain the whole proposal idea and what you did. Yeah. But what I did was in July, I started looking for a ring, and I proposed in September. So in July, we had been together for about 6 years at that point. So it was like long time coming.
Yeah.
And so we were very much so ready. And Hallie was very antsy. And she was like, I still remember in like May or June, she like got mad at me because I hadn't proposed yet. She's like, I thought you were going to propose by now. And then she was like, so do you even have a ring? And I was like, no, I don't have a ring. Why would I have a ring? And I was like trying to be mean about it because I was already looking for a ring. So I don't want her to like get the idea that she's gonna catch on. Like I wanted to make sure like it was completely. I took it in a way that I was trying to like, throw her off. She took it as if like I was never gonna propose.
Listen, yes, I did take it that way because, like you said, we'd been together a very long time, you guys, and I knew we knew for a while that we wanted to get married. Mm-hmm. And so in my head, we'd graduated. I wasn't expecting you to propose right as we graduated college, which I guess I don't need to ask you that either because I didn't want to know. I wanted to be surprised, but it was so hard. I hate not knowing things. And so we should have just had an honest conversation of, look, this is the page that I'm on. Are you here with me or are you not? Because we're getting older. We're still super young. Obviously, we just graduated college, but I knew I wanted to be with you. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to keep waiting. I wanted to get engaged so bad. I wanted you to just propose. And I should have just been like, hey, let's talk about this maturely. I shouldn't have tried to corner you and figure out when you were going to propose to me.
I'm going to say like this conversation happened before, like we had this conversation before I started even looking for a ring. And my idea was like, I was very financially focused, just like Jonah and Marissa over here, very financially focused in terms of, okay, if we wait another year, then we'll have money for like, the wedding and the ring and all of that. And so that's what I was focused on. So I was like, okay, we'll just wait a year after we graduate. Whereas Hallie's idea was, okay, you graduate, we get engaged, then you have the year to prep for the wedding, right? And so that was, I think, your idea, which then it kind of made sense after I thought about it. Because then I was like, wait a minute. If I get engaged next year, then there's another year to plan the wedding. That means I wouldn't live with this woman for at least 2 whole years. Like that's crazy. Like once I started to realize that, then I was like, gotta get a ring. Yeah. And so I got the ring and then waited. I ordered the ring. It took about 2 or 3 months to get. And then I had the ring for about 2 weeks before I proposed. And that was hard. So I don't know how the hell you like managed to keep that for that long.
Wait, so how long did you have the ring before you proposed?
Almost 2 years.
Oh what?
A year and then like 11 months.
Oh my God.
Listen, again, I had the money at the point. I didn't want to like wait and then potentially have shifted money elsewhere, like in like my 401k or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that I just had it there. It's all paid off and then just wait. But also it was very much like a month of, oh my gosh, I just want to use it now, Yeah. But I couldn't. There was no way. I would have scared her off.
Yeah, if I knew that you bought the ring that early, I feel like I would have been, even though it felt right, I feel like I would have been like, ooh, gosh. I don't know. Just, happening so fast. I'd be like, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah.
Understand.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to wait too. Like I'm always the person of like, you should at least wait a full year before you even start thinking about that stuff. Even though like I knew, but I still also waited until we'd been dating for over 2 years too to actually pull the trigger on that. So
yeah, I think it's important to wait just so you know the person. But I think what you went through is a little. I feel like like it wasn't like a first time introduction between you two. It was. Right. It was like you had gone to school together. You hadn't directly known each other, but you also don't think she's a stranger, right?
Right.
And so that plays a piece into it.
It does, yeah.
Definitely coming from the same place. Like you guys, again, like you said, went to the same schools. Like I love that we had that in common. Yeah. Like that was such a huge common ground for us, is having all the same things in common. You lived in the same area. You know the same general groups of people. So did you guys have any friend groups that overlapped, like when you didn't know each other?
I don't think so. I mean, again, honestly, maybe aside from like the orchestra stuff and band stuff, there's no way. I don't even think that I really saw you when we had the trip to New York with the band and orchestra. Right. So
that was such a small group, too. not like a small group,
yeah.
Yeah.
but crazy.
I know.
So then, Marissa, I have to ask you the same question I asked Jonah. So at what point when you guys, during your relationship, did you know that you wanted to marry Jonah?
I felt it. I feel like I felt it earlier than when we went to Nashville, but obviously anything that happens that soon, I was like, I push it away because I'm like, we wanted to get to know each other and things like that. But really, that Nashville trip really showed how we worked well with each other and could just have a good time doing anything. So I felt like that was a turning point as well.
So you have a honeymoon stage, right? Are you guys still in the honeymoon stage, or do you guys think like it never went away?
I mean, okay.
Because there's always like, that one thing that's like, okay, now we're not in the honeymoon stage. For us, we had like 6 good months of like honeymoon stage. It was great. And then we had an altercation that caused us to be like, okay.
I think we all know who started the altercation.
It was me. It was me, everybody. Who would have guessed? But anyways, yeah, we had like a little bit of a fight, and we were definitely out of the honeymoon stage. But then like, that doesn't mean you'll never get back into it. So like we definitely got back into it like once we got engaged, and then we got back into it again when we got married, and then we got back into it again when we had like another like just like when we started doing our own fitness journey together. Like we're back in it. Like we get back into it at different points in our life, and then I don't know. It's just different. But
Yeah, it ebbs and flows for sure. So I guess what stage do you guys feel like you're in your relationship?
It's hard because our first year, I felt like we had a long honeymoon stage. And then, we have been living together. So since then, but I feel like we still really work well together.
I was going to say same.
We don't argue. We haven't had our first big argument yet.
But we
I'm
still
sure we
also like
will,
don't
but-
agree on everything. We have like occasions of like tougher conversations, I guess.
Yeah.
But still, it's not been like I'm very mad at you, you're mad at me. It's not been like that yet. And hopefully it doesn't have to. I'm sure it will someday. And I think what's nice though is like we will be able to get through anything that is like difficult to talk about or navigate through.
yeah.
Just based on like our relationship that we've had. So
Yeah. I feel like lately it's been all right with, you working so hard on your master's degree. He was spending a lot of time doing all of his work. And so that kind of leaves me not spending as much time with him. So that was kind of hard. But I feel like we've been doing a good job of like, oh, let's go on a date and doing things like that. And I feel like especially after you literally just finished your master's, you're going to get your degree soon. But that, and then I'll be on break because I'm a teacher. I think we're going to have more time for that. And I think that's really refreshing to be able to do that.
Well,
Go
when
on
you work
dates.
hard, there's always that when two people work very hard for their goals and dreams, there's always that like sacrifice period, right? And so you guys went through it. You'll get past that for sure, 100%. And so that's good to know that you acknowledge that you're able to talk about things. So that's where we were young when we started dating, and so we were just not mature. I was not mature enough to speak
both
about things.
really weren't. We weren't good at having the tough conversations but you're in high school, right? So it's like you don't really, I at least didn't really have the capacity to have these difficult conversations.
I feel like Jonah, I don't know. Jonah's always been like super mature. I don't know. Do you feel that way? Like you've been above the curve in terms of maturity.
I mean, yeah, my family or like friends, parents, anybody, I don't know. I feel like they would say that I was like mature for my age. And I don't know. I feel like I'm always humble though too. I would be like, sure, whatever you say. I don't know.
It's good to be able to talk about hard things, but
I feel like you both are very mature in that sense. Like you both just give off a vibe that you're able to really talk about things, whether it's, a tough conversation or not. And from the little that I know you guys, you just seem like, like whatever happens. Like we'll work it out. Everything's going to be okay. That's kind of the energy that I get from you guys. So that's a really good way to be.
Even though we are so young, everybody has stuff and we go through such hard things. And like, I feel like in my life, I've been through a lot, and my perspective on life has really drastically changed these past few years because of everything. And I feel like it's just super important to just have fun and enjoy life. Spend time with people you love, do things you love, don't waste that time, you know? So I felt like that has made my energy like just better and more calm and things like that.
So I guess from what you just said, you know, having fun, I never realized that until I met her. Cause I never had, me and Jonah were like, study all the time. You get your A's. That's all you do. And like, I would never prioritize the fun part of things. My fun was working, like making videos. That was still work. Like I wasn't going out and like hanging out and not using my brain. Right. What was the turning point? Either one of you can say anything, but what was the one experience you had that made it was like, okay, I need to have more fun in my life. I need to, enjoy myself more.
For me, I feel like I've had family members that I've lost and they just live life to the fullest. I'm like, dang, I really want to be like them. I want to do that more. And, when that happened a few years ago, I lost my uncle and he just really inspired me. And I was like, I'm going to go through with getting this pilot's license. I'm going to do this. And like every time I go up, I'm like, wow, this is just so cool, And so I felt like that was a big turning point for me. But there's more, but yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I don't think I really had like a defining moment when I was young for me, which is sad, I guess. But like for me, I think it was going into nursing. Granted, let me remind you guys, it was 2020. So COVID literally just happened and I'm graduating nursing school and boom, there's a pandemic and like no one knows what it's going to do or how bad it's going to be. So I think even though I really enjoyed nursing still for like the first 6, 8, maybe even like full year, first 6 or 8 months for sure though, I think it was because of being thrown into COVID and just like literally not really understanding how stressful nursing could be and then being thrown into that situation. I think that's when I like first experienced like a burnout, which, they always talk about that in nursing anyways, but like a burnout of like life too. It's like, dang, I am not the happiest that I could be because of this crazy job. And I love taking care of people. I love being able to be like that source of like light, I guess, if you want to call it, because the hospital's not a fun place to be. And again, another pandemic, it's like they don't also know what's going to happen to them. So it's just like giving all of your energy to someone else, and by someone else I mean like 5, 6 patients at a time for 12 hours at a time, 3 days a week. It's just it was really taxing. So I think that was the turning point for me somewhere whenever my first year of like nursing was.
Something I just reminded me I wanted to talk about later is that you worked night shift for so long.
Yeah.
And you didn't switch over to day shift until we started dating, basically. But that could be a conversation for later.
That's crazy. That's tough.
That plays a
night
huge
shift,
role.
And usually, like nurses start off like when you're just getting started, you you're pretty much not. You don't have seniority, so you don't get to pick whatever you want, right?
Right.
And night shift is what makes the burnout easier for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just feel like you don't have a life at that point, right? Like you're working at night.
I mean,
and then the days you have off, you're tired during the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's like a meme that I'll see every now and then where it's like night shift skipping their naps so that way they can stay up for all of day shift when they're off. And it's like this person that just has crazy hair and they obviously look like they're about to pass out. But it's true. I mean, I would sometimes get home, I don't even know, I'd shower, eat my like dinner for breakfast.
That's wild.
I would go to bed maybe at like 9 a.m. And then I was crazy. I would make myself wake up at 2 because at this point in time, I also was like 50 pounds heavier and I needed to lose weight. So I would wake up at 2, go work out, and I was on a strict diet. So like, I don't know. The crazy thing is I was not that tired for as insane of a schedule as that was. I was actually like full of energy, surprisingly. But I also do not miss it.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So just to go backtrack a little bit, just with what we were talking about, like a turning point that just made you realize life is worth living. I really resonate with what you were saying, Marissa, because I've also lost family members. I have family members going through some hard stuff right now. We've had some financial situations happen where it's like none of these little things matter. I see so many other people living their life to the fullest and enjoying every single day because you don't know when any day could be your last day. And I think of this too, anytime that we get in any little argument or tiff or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
I don't ever want to leave it unsettled because thinking about us being in an argument or me being upset with you and then I go die or you go die or something, that would kill us. You know what I mean?
Suck.
So basically the lesson from that, however dark it was, live every day to the fullest, because you don't know when it can be your last. And I love seeing how some people are just so happy to be alive. We should be so happy to be alive. It's so rare that we're alive right now and we're living a good life. And I mean, just like the possibility of even being born. I mean,
Hallie,
it's crazy.
Hallie really realized this when we went to India.
Oh my gosh, that was a huge turning point for me.
That was when I saw the turning point in Hallie, and how, I don't know, like one of my things was like, you know, money is very important to me. Like I like to be able to save. And sometimes that takes over a lot of my decisions, and sometimes it's negative in a way. And so like I will prioritize that over having an experience or getting something I really want, right? I'm like, I gotta save money. When at the end of the day, if I die, that money is just gonna be in a bank account sitting and rotting, doing nothing, right? And so one thing that I saw Hallie, I saw Hallie do, like while she was in India, is see how happy people were without money. Like they did, like a lot of people, like they don't have much, like they're living in mud houses. At least the people that I got to show Hallie, like we went to like the town where the people who kind of take care of all our stuff live, and she was like, I just never want to complain about anything ever again after seeing how happy these people are without much at all.
Well, it was such a perspective shift. Yeah. And just to think how much we have here. I mean, like so many people that live in the US complain about just little itty bitty things and make it into a huge, it's mind blowing to me what some people complain about and make issues into things that don't really matter, when there are people that are struggling to find food every day, or they have tarps as roofs over their head, or, you know, like it was just a total perspective change for me going and seeing that. And yet these people are still so kind, so happy, so energetic and bubbly. And people here are so miserable over the dumbest things. I'm not going to say the dumbest things, but if you if you have a roof over your head, then, I mean, to me, what is there to complain about? I don't know. To me, nothing else matters. And I feel like that was a big turning point for me in terms of finding happiness and joy in my day to day, but also we got back into the honeymoon phase after that too, because
big time.
We were so relaxed. I was sick and you're taking care of me. But on top of that, we were just happy. We were so happy.
Yeah. And it was just like, that's when I was like, okay, I don't care. Like, I'm going to spend money on experiences. I still don't care about material items as much, but like experiences, like I will make sure that we just went to New York City just cause, and it was the best experience ever, because I don't know. I just feel like that's something that we don't get to tangibly take that ever again. Like if you don't take the opportunity, then it's gone. Yeah. So anyways,
it's very important. Yeah. To anyone out there listening, to spend money and time on gaining experiences. Like for example, I'd never been out of the country before. Getting that perspective and seeing a whole different world was huge for me. And I feel like I see the world so differently now. Yeah. And it's been great. So definitely travel and do all the cool things while you still can. Not to say that you can't do it when you're older, but it's easier when you're younger.
I was thinking about that yesterday. I don't know why, but how I am very money conscious. And in college, we had an opportunity to take a music history course in Vienna, Austria. I was like, you know, cost back then, I don't know, it was like $3,000 or something. I was like, I am saving up, I am going. And I got to go. And it was the coolest experience ever.
Wow.
So that was the first time I was out of the country. I was like, wow, this is so neat.
That's crazy. So, did you like it? It was a pretty cool place. I've never even heard of Austria. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never I don't know what's there. So yeah, that's interesting.
So Jonah, just to circle back, because I don't know that we fully covered it, can you just walk us through the day of your engagement and how you proposed to Marissa?
Yeah, so I think it was about a week or two, maybe. I think it was 2 weeks before the day. I submitted PTO and I said, Suketu, I think this is going to be the day. Because all the way back, whenever I told you both about it, I believe I asked both of you, I was like, will you guys do the photos?
Yeah, I remember that.
So I always had you guys in mind for sure. And then the day comes And I'm like, okay, the weather finally, it looks like it's going to be good. Because before it was showing it might be rainy, it might be windy, all things making it kind of gross. And like spring is just springing. So it could have been really cold too. But it was a really warm day. Very few clouds were in sight. It was warm. Everything was going great. However, I wake up and Marissa had just gone to the doctor because for the few days leading up to it, she had been having some headaches for some reason that like just weren't going away. I think everything is fine. There was no like suspicion for anything weird going on in her body, but the day comes, she goes to the doctor and they say, you should probably just sit in like a dark room all day and like take this one medicine. They gave her a shot at the hospital as well.
Shot in the hip to help with the headache. They said you should sit in a dark, quiet room for the rest of the day. I felt miserable having headaches for 4 days. I don't know what it is to, have migraines. I'm sure it wasn't that, but I was like, what is wrong? And they told me to sit in a dark, quiet room. And I came home and I was sad. And I was like, I know you had this date planned because he told me we're going to go on a cute date.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I don't feel good. I have a headache. They told me to sit in a dark room.
Yeah, I was like so giddy when she was gone because I was like, this doctor visit is going to go great. She's going to get the help she needs and we're going to go on the state and have an awesome time. And so she comes back and tells me this and I just look at her. My smile just goes and I just look at her and I'm like, okay, this is fine in my head.
And really, I get a text. This might not happen today. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was fine if it didn't happen. But I was like, no, the stars literally have all aligned for every single thing to go right except for this thing. And of course, it's like potentially she's not going to be able to go. So I was freaking out. And then I was like, okay, you know what? If you don't want to go, that's fine. And she could tell I was upset still. But I also was like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't have to be this day. So I was trying to get over that in my head, but I was looking forward to this for 2 years. So I was like, please let it happen.
But man, it was a perfect day though.
It was, yeah. And then she is like, okay, you know what? Let me just see if I feel better. She ends up feeling a little bit better. We go. We were going to go to like this winery thing. And then because she couldn't really have alcohol because of the medicine, we actually just went to this cute charcuterie place in Carmel. And that was actually, I think I liked that better. It was a really nice place. Yeah. But then we go to the park, which was this park that when she was gone a couple weeks before in Florida, that I went to scope out the area and be like, okay, this is the nice spot. Oh, no, this is the nice spot. Oh, no, this is the nice spot. I'm showing Suketu all these videos. Bless his soul. He probably didn't even listen to any of it.
No,
he did.
I watched all of them.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for listening to like the 10 minutes of me being like, I don't know. Look at this. But yeah, we go there. And I sent this picture to Suketu of like, here's where I am going to do it. Here's where you should probably be if you want to like hide or like get a nice photo. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have even suggested that because you guys do this all the time.
Organized proposal I've ever experienced.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Seriously.
And I also, because I also planned like where we were going to walk. And so we're walking along this path and I made sure that we actually took the path that I sent because Suketu said, make sure you follow this path. And I said, okay, I will. And then we get to this one part where we're supposed to turn and Marissa's like, ooh, let's go over here. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just play it off cool. And then, I was like, oh, this doesn't look nice.
And we can see you guys at this point, by the way. We can see you turn a different direction. I'm like, are we at the right bridge? Because I think there was another bridge there, by the way. And so I thought you were going to that bridge. I was like, oh my God, I messed up. I was freaking out.
I was freaking out in the moment. I was like, shoot, he's going to think that we're in the wrong spot. You guys, I don't know. I was just thinking this is all going to crumble. So then I'm just like, oh my gosh, look at that cool bridge over there. It looks like the path goes under it. We could go see what it leads to on the other side. Knowing full well.
And that is when I became a little suspicious because I had no clue this was happening.
So then, I don't know.
Funny. And
then I
tried
tried
to just hear like completely chill, like nothing's going on. And then me and Jonah are in the back like freaking out.
Well, I did try to play it off too because we went under the bridge and it is like very, what's the word? Sound can travel just like very uniquely in there. So like I screamed kind of and I was like, echo. And I don't know, I was like, wasn't that cool? I don't know. I was trying to play it off. Okay.
Panicking.
This weirdo.
Marissa's like, what are you talking about?
I honestly wonder what my watch was saying my heart rate was at that time. It was probably like 130.
Oh my gosh. You got your workout in.
Dude, you should have seen like when I was like right before I was proposing to Hallie, she kept wanting to hold my hand. I was like, no, I can't hold your hand because my hand was wet, like it was water. Like it was water. You could physically see the droplets because I was so sweaty. And so like yeah, that's when she I think knew something was up.
Echo, isn't that cool?
I don't know if I said that. It was something along the lines, but
She's
it
like,
worked.
okay, this bridge is great, honey. Thanks. Yeah.
But yeah, I also had the sling backpack thing on because I wanted to give her a gift, which is true. I wanted it to be an anniversary gift, but we didn't get anything for each other this year.
Because you told me, oh, I just have this late anniversary gift I want to give you, and I want to give it to you while we're walking around, while we walk at this nice park. And I was like, okay. I mean, okay, that's why he's got his bag.
To be fair, I did phrase it differently. I said I wanted to wait for like a nice date that we were together because the week before she had just gotten back from Florida. She was tired, and then we didn't really have a date recently. So I was like, I just want to wait. So that was my rationale. I hope I kind of played it all smooth like that.
You did.
But then I give it to her, and it's like this plaque of Nashville's like roads, kind of like a top-down view.
All because Nashville's so special to you guys.
Yeah.
Cute. Yeah, and he had made little
Pop-out clip arts thing. I literally printed clip art, and I just cut it out.
of all the little dates we went in Nashville, and I was like, this is so cute. And it says it's like when I knew, and it has the date of when we went on the trip, and when he knew he wanted to be with me. And I was looking at this, and I was like, wow. And then you started to take it from my hands, and I can let you continue. But
Yeah, so I take it from her hands because I had this whole script planned out, and I knew I was going to do this, but I didn't know how she was going to take it. So I take it from her, and I'm like, and I like wait like 5 seconds, and I'm like, I have to get something off my chest.
I don't know why you did that, because you said that, and I like started freaking out. I'm like, well, what does he have to get off his chest? What's going on?
Because like the speech leading up to it, it was saying like, I knew that I loved you and all this stuff. And then I said, but I have to get something off my chest. During this trip, this is also where I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. So there was a long pause. The worst is going through her head, but then it's to say that line. And then she's like, "Aw." And I think it's in one of the pictures you can see, she's like,
It's so cute.
and then yeah, the rest is history. And it's like, I heard you guys literally sprinting down the hill. It's like, okay, it's actually happening.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad that it worked out.
Oh my
completely
gosh.
In time. I know there's a lot of things going against you, but it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And everything worked out.
And that's so romantic. That's
That
such
is
a
amazing.
thoughtful way to ask her too. Because obviously earlier you guys talked about how special the Nashville trip was to you guys, but I guess I didn't realize because I knew that you gave her something, but I forgot that it was a map of Nashville and with the dates and that's so sweet. I love that. And you can keep that forever too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So with that, we are going to move into a game.
It's gonna be kind of like rapid fire.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a who is in the relationship.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. First question. Who is needier?
Me.
Okay, and then who's more romantic?
Me?
Yes.
I would
I can
say
see
by
that.
far.
Yeah.
I can see that. for
like that
sure.
the whole proposal thing was a very romantic gesture, I think, with every thoughtful piece that went into it, with all that you were explaining to us and making sure everything went right. All of that's very romantic.
I mean, I did have a note set up for 2 years. I'm just going to say. I was like, I revised it so many times. I was thinking about it, okay?
That's so, you guys are so cute.
You're so thoughtful.
You are so yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you guys both
I
have
wish
such great
I
qualities.
was marrying Jonah. Not that you're not thoughtful.
Yeah, what the heck? Hold on. Jonah is taken. I'm right here. I'm your actual wife.
All right.
Who is more likely to buy a gift that the other one hates?
I think I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm picky.
Maybe.
Wait,
I don't know. I was thinking because I think I'm more of just like a people pleaser, and I'm like, ooh, I think you'll like this. And if you don't like it, it's like, okay, that's fine. I think I kind of like it too, though.
I don't know though, because you're also very thoughtful though. So I don't.
You can be thoughtful and still be bad at giving gifts. I think that's
True. Yeah. I think, yeah, I don't know. Even if we just said I'm more of like the romantic person, I feel like you're more of a thoughtful person. So I'm more of like ooh, I think you're going to like this, but I think you're more of, I'm going to put my time and effort into making something that you're probably going to love no matter what because I made it with my own bare hands. Whereas I'm like Amazon or, whatever. I don't know.
Well, just for some context, Marissa showed up with 2 mason jars filled with pumpkin loaves and a can of pumpkin, so I can make loaves of like that's such a thoughtful thing. That was a very nice gesture. Oh my gosh.
And that's not easy to do.
No,
like,
and you just were like, oh, I just whipped this up for you. Like, that's so thoughtful and nice. So with that, okay, just because I'm curious now, what is the worst gift you guys have gotten each other?
I'll say this. There's nothing bad that I've gotten. I will say that I've never made something for her. She made me like these bracelet, wristband kind of things that I love, and I could never make that for her. So I think automatically she wins this category. Just going to say that.
She's a gift giver. Is that one of your love languages, would you say?
I personally no, but I do enjoy making things, I guess. If I'm making things. Yeah, I guess I like that. But.
So last one, who is more likely to start the argument?
Her.
Really?
Probably me. Once again,
Jonah's like,
I'm really, I don't know, picky with things, maybe. Like, what's one thing I really get on you about? Then it's kind of like not fair for you.
I feel like, if anything, you may get on me about the dishes. But I feel like I'm the one who does the dishes the most.
He does the dishes the most.
I only do the dishes. I'm the only one.
But when I do the dishes, I clean up the one time versus 10 times that he's done it. Like, and then he leaves a dish out. I'm like, you left the dish out. And I shouldn't be that way. Yeah. So
no, it's okay. That happens.
Yeah.
For me at least, it's like I gotta keep. I know cooking is messy, but I can't deal with that because we have white countertops, and I'm like, listen, tomato sauce should not be on the countertop at any point, even if you're making something. And so like I'm like always cleaning like as she's cooking.
I will do that too.
So like it's just I don't know, OCD thing.
And I have everything out, and I just do it all, and then I put it away. And sometimes I do leave a mess still. And Jonah helps clean it up. Yeah.
Very similar situation here.
Yeah.
So last question I have for you guys, because we like to ask our couples this, but you guys are very busy in your relationship. You're newly engaged. You have a lot going on. How do you guys prioritize each other and keep your relationship fun and interesting?
I feel like we like to plan date nights, like evenings that we're going to spend time together and things like that. I do feel like we need to do a better job at like doing more fun, interesting things, but just even having those are nice, and being able to sit down and talk and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. I think same. Just kind of like, especially now that I'm not in school anymore and I'm not tied down to that stuff 5, 6, 7 days a week. I have more free time on my hands in the evening, which is nice, especially with my new job. I'm not doing 3 12-hour shifts. I'm doing 5 8s or whatever I need to do to get my 40 hours in the week. So I have a little bit of each day now, which is nice. And then I have the weekends just like she does. So we kind of just like will plan ahead I feel like we plan ahead the week before. We're just like, okay, we should do this for dinner this night, or we should go to this place or go on this fun date this day. You know, just kind of like making sure that we actually make time for ourselves now that we actually both have the time.
That's the biggest thing. It's so hard though. It's so much easier said than done prioritizing your relationship because everything else gets in the way all the time.
I know. And we had to talk about that too. Whenever I started school, I was like, it's going to be rough. I'm going to have to like prioritize this. Like I just will to make it work and like actually get my money's worth. I know. But hey, now here we are.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was still there.
We had that conversation. So she was still in high school and I was in college because we were 1 year apart. And so we had that exact I was like, I remember talking to you. I was like, Hallie, I'm not going to be able to spend as much time with you. And you got so upset.
Well, it was a little bit different of a
tense
conversation.
It was tense. But anyways, it was like a very similar conversation. It was not easy to have that conversation because we were also not as mature at the time. But
yeah, but like for example, this morning, like we didn't have time really in the last. I mean, we obviously went on a trip together and that was fantastic. But we were working most of the time. Yeah. But like this morning, we went to get bagels and coffee together, and it was just so nice actually taking the time and sitting with you. And when you don't prioritize that, it's so easy to lose track of spending time together, number one. But it was so nice to just actually spend quality time together and sit down and relax and put all distractions away and just talk and enjoy our bagels and muffins together.
I agree.
It was fantastic. So yes, absolutely prioritize date nights. I love that you guys do that because it's very important and it's very easy to not do as well.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jonah and Marissa, for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
It was an amazing time. So we are ending the podcast here, everybody. And please comment down below saying thank you, Jonah and Marissa, for coming on the podcast. As a reminder, we have our website, www.halfpastshot.com. Make sure you go there to submit your questions and stories. Half Past Crew, we love you. Thank you for the support. We are so excited to continue growing this podcast. We will see you next Monday at Half Past Shot.
Go comment your favorite moment from this podcast. And also, can we just talk about the fact that we're wearing matching sweatshirts?
Yeah.
Merch.
Somebody has to change, you guys.
We got to change. But we got new merch coming out soon.
It's probably cold by now. Oh, they're cookies.
Same time.
All right. So how long do they need to hold it in there for?
Oh, do not hold it in like more than, I would say, 1.5. Don't use 2 seconds.
Oh.
It's over. It's game over.
Really?
No, if you
Alright.
do like 4, then it will
It's game
break off
over
and
at-
fall because it softens so much. So
Okay.
you don't want to lose it.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Go for it. That's it.
Okay.
Solid.
That's good.
This is good.
Isn't that good?
This is Suketu's favorite breakfast every morning.
Really
I'm
good.
addicted. It's also a lot of sugar.
In a whole pack, yes.
I might have diabetes at some point because of them, but they're such an addiction for me.
They
And this is
Fun
your first
fact.
time drinking cha?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
Good. So I'm not a tea person. I am not.
me either.
But this is awesome.
Really.
I love it.
I love that. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. It's really easy to make if you ever want to learn.
Well, my brother's friend, he offered to like give us like a store-bought cha thing. And I never tried it. I smelled it because it was like it was almost past the date too, right? It was something. We were like going to throw it out. But like I smelled it and I was like, ooh, this actually smells
The
good.
spices. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this,
Obviously, this is probably better than the store-bought stuff, but
well, see, before I had this, I used to have the store-bought stuff and I liked it. I would add like I think I would add almond milk to it or something or just or regular milk, whatever you want to use, but I would add it and it doesn't measure up to this. I'm just going to be honest. Because once I learned how to make this, and you can, really customize it to whatever you want because I use all kinds of spices and things in it. That's my favorite part because I like typically my coffee and my tea a little bit stronger. So when it is like that, it's so good. And we didn't used to have this every.
What am I doing with my life?